What's the plan? I mean, what's coming next? Is it going to be something where you think the liberty activists are just going to step up and create an event, and then that's going to be it from here out, or is the Liberty Forum going to come back? What do you expect?
Well, those are all good questions. I think that one thing for sure that I think would be interesting to your listeners is that we're going to have Pork Fest this year.
The Porcupine Freedom Festival, that's the summertime camping fest, which is, I would say, even more fun than the Liberty Forum. It's certainly more laid back.
Informal. It's at a campground, right?
Right.
It usually lasts about 4 days. Is it now 4 or 5 days? So a little bit longer. Like I said, it's more informal. It's camping. It's not staying at a hotel room, but it has a different flavor. It's more family oriented. It has more outdoor activities versus in the winter where everything is inside. And I do have to say a little bit more conference like.
I can tell you, I don't have a family, and I have a blast at the Porcupine Freedom Festival. But
it's a whole week for some people because some people get there a little early and they start the event very unofficially a few days early.
Well, I'm glad to hear that is a definite go. Like there's 0% chance that's going to be canceled, right?
Yes, that's definitely go. And I tell you, with Future of Liberty forums, I think we're not in a position to say 100% it's going to happen, 100% it's not going to happen. I mean, we would like to continue with it because it has been such a huge success. But I think it's really stay tuned to our website, freestateproject.org, and as we become firm in what the plans are, we may even have something in the summer to maybe make up a little bit for the Liberty Forum. So some things have been talked about, but again, we need to find out and be confident with our resources.
Well, we'll certainly be
volunteers and on all those good things because, like I said, any of these events take a lot of planning.
Sure.
And a lot of work to make them happen, especially if you want them to be successful and positively reflects the amount of liberty progress that we have made in New Hampshire. We definitely don't want to put something together and then have very few people attend, which would give not a very true representation of what is happening here.
It's nice. It's got to be really impressive
we definitely want it to be a success.
Yeah, it's got to be really impressive for somebody to show up in New Hampshire the first time at one of these events and just be blown away by the amount of people and the amount of friendly, nice people that are all together at the same location. So I'm sure we'll hear about whatever's transpiring and we'll let our listeners know. Irina, thanks for calling in tonight. Appreciate the discussion on this.
Thank you very much, and happy holidays to everybody.
Indeed. That's Irina from the Free State Project at freestateproject.org. Disappointing news that the Liberty Forum has been canceled so far.
And right before Christmas, when people are used to getting sad news, it seems
sometimes that happens, right? A lot of people break up with each other right before Christmas. But Delbert, the activist community is an interesting bunch of folks. There have been times when there have been kind of splits between people in this movement because thousands of people have signed up for the Free State Project. Over 10,000 people have signed up for it. Hundreds of them have actually already made the move to New Hampshire. And while they agree in general about the ideas of liberty, they don't agree on all the subtleties necessarily. And so
especially on tactics.
Yeah. So what we've seen over time is when a disagreement becomes too large between people. Maybe it's just a simple disagreement over, we all want to meet on this forum online. No, we need another forum. So some people broke off and created another website or created another blog or whatever. And so we've seen these, they're not necessarily schisms, but just splits of activism where people that are focusing on one thing, there's another group of people that say, well, I'm not so interested in how you guys are approaching that, and I don't really want to use your resources anymore, so we're going to go do our own thing over here. The activist community is currently in discussions about what to do about replacing the Liberty Forum. I know a lot of people aren't going to wait around and see what the Free State Project comes up with.
I would be willing to bet that something happens, and it's just going to be an issue. It's going to be a matter of what exactly is going to happen. It will probably not be the same scale as Liberty Forum, or it might be on the same scale in terms of attendees and a lot of activities, but it may not be, maybe it won't be expensive speakers and things like that.
Well,
that's I don't think is necessarily, like you said, maybe not necessarily the big appeal.
What is right? I guess that's the question: is what would appeal to you? And you're welcome to call and answer that. I mean, if you've been to the Liberty Forum in the past, what was it that was the real attraction? Was it one speaker? Was it more than one speaker? Was it just the fact that you knew that there were just some awesome liberty-minded people all together in the same place? For me, that's the number one reason. What was it for you? I mean, this is useful information to help figure out what to do now.
There's a lot of feedback from people saying that it seems expensive for them.
And that I've heard. I heard that last night.
I've heard that. For what it is, it's not expensive.
For a weekend-long conference,
right,
you mean?
For a weekend conference at a hotel with speakers and all of that, that is not expensive.
It's
actually very reasonable.
Something?
It runs about $200.
Yeah.
For the registration, and the thing is, then you need to arrange a room.
Yeah, I've been to these weekend conferences before.
They've got great deals on rooms. They usually do for conferences.
They can go upwards of $400 for a weekend, or even more than that.
Oh yeah, easily, very easily. So I think I think they're actually doing a good job of keeping it very reasonably priced, but. That's still for a lot of people who aren't really into conference. I don't think there's quite a chunk of Liberty folks who aren't interested in coming and listening to speakers. And a lot of the people coming to Liberty Forum, I find, are there, like you said, for the networking, to hang out with people. And they go to some of these the lectures and things like that. But there's these big, they have the big dinners where people are sitting around talking with each other, and you sit at a table with someone you've never met before, possibly, and you go up and bump elbows with some people that are involved in a lot of different things in New Hampshire and the Liberty movement in general. And I think that appeals to a lot of people, and it seems expensive if that's what you're up here to do. If you're not, I think what's happening is I think people maybe feel like they're subsidizing the part that they don't care about that much for the part which is, coming up and socializing with people that they want to meet and
I think the idea of an unconference is interesting. It's one that's been thrown around here, and I wonder how it would end up playing out. I mean, the idea of an unconference, as I understand it, is that there really isn't much in the way of planning that goes into it. We just had
it's much more spontaneous.
Right.
It's a lot of it happens right there. People, as they show up, they start making the schedule and things like that.
I'd love to see how something like that actually plays out with the Liberty community, because one thing's for sure about the Liberty movement is that they say that, what's the old saying? They're like trying to herd cats. You're trying to get them all to agree to do the same thing. And so that's one thing that'd be interesting to see, how the different groups would go about creating a curriculum for some sort of a meeting or panel discussions or whatever. I don't even know what an unconference would end up looking like. Maybe if you've been to one, you can explain it to me.
Well, it's a good point, the differences of opinion, because I know that a common complaint I heard last year, I heard a lot of people saying, I'm not going to early register next year. They're absolutely planning on attending. I'm one of them. Mm-hmm. We're absolutely planning on attending. We're going to buy tickets to Liberty Forum. But what happened is a lot of people early registered last year, and they really didn't like just like one or two of the speakers where it was a separately priced event. Mm-hmm. And there's as you know, and as we talk about on here, there's a lot of people that are very not interested in doing things through the political process. And they
are
had
certainly
not
interested in hearing a politician speak.
Right, and paying extra to hear a politician speak. Those people absolutely don't want to pay extra to see a politician speak.